Like I said earlier, the Iowa caucuses are less than a week from this morning. What's amazing is so far we're not seeing any polling to suggest Trump is in any trouble with Republicans in Iowa or New Hampshire. Now, I just refuse to believe these polls. Iowa is next Monday. They're expecting a blizzard and below freezing conditions that day. So it could mean Trump supporters will stay home because they figure it's a lock. Why bother? He's going to win. Unless this Trump infection is so intense, nothing is going to stop these people from turning out for Mein Fuhrer. We should see new polling this week that could suggest some shift, but it would have to be like the tectonic plates shifting. I've been waiting. This is when it's not likely. I've been saying DeSantis is going to win Iowa. Right now, my head says Trump wins. My gut says DeSantis, and my penis. All right. I don't want to tell you what my penis says. It's inappropriate. I have a rude penis. Doesn't know how to behave in public. That's why I never let it talk. But my gut is telling me that DeSantis wins. My head tells me it's Trump. My heart is telling my penis to shut up. My heart and my penis, they don't get along. We're waiting on the big Des Moines Register poll. It will be the last major poll before the caucuses. Again, nothing. Here are the Real Clear Iowa polling averages. Real Clear Iowa averages show Trump with a majority, not a plurality. I mean, this is 51.3%. DeSantis is in second place with 18.6%. Haley is in third with 16.1%. But a new Morning Consult poll out late last night shows Haley moving into second place in Iowa. But Trump is peeling away from everyone in this poll with 58% of the vote. Again, that is a poll of a little under 400 likely caucus goers. Okay, but these are legitimate polls. What is shocking here, not just with the Morning Consult poll, what is shocking with the Real Clear averages of all the polls is we always thought there was a ceiling in the Republican Party for Trump and that his only way was down. His only way was down. He couldn't top out past 40%. Again, this is one poll, but he's busting through the ceiling, 58%. And the averages have him at 51%. I mean, it just can't be right. He's moving above the ceiling. We were trying to establish a floor in the polling. It is the early warning signs of a wave election. Like I said before, Trump appears to be running as a successful incumbent. It's like the interim period with Joe Biden doesn't exist for these Republicans. It's just 2020, but he's more popular. Here is what is so frightening. When it comes to policy, you vote DeSantis over Trump. If you're a MAGA Republican, when it comes to policy, you would vote DeSantis over Trump. If you believe all the things Donald Trump says he believes, then you should vote for Ron DeSantis because he actually knows how to pull the levers of power and get those things done. So why Trump? Why is DeSantis in third place? Because we're talking about a cult of personality. This is what is emerging. We knew this in 2016. Trump could come out in favor right now of Medicare for all. He could announce amnesty for the migrants. He could say, let's tax the billionaires out of existence. I suspect most of the people who are going to vote for Trump in the Iowa caucuses and in New Hampshire would be all in on Trump no matter what. If Donald Trump started saying, tax the billionaires, we got to get off fossil fuels, we've got to stop drilling, the same people who are voting for Trump right now would still be voting for him because it's not about policy. Iowa is looking like Republicans believe in one thing, Donald Trump, and they don't believe in democracy. Again, I have to believe that people who don't believe in democracy don't show up to vote on election day. It's kind of a catch-22 for crypto-fascists. I'm hoping the polls are wrong and that people who say they're going to vote for Trump, well, forget it. I have no idea. I have no idea what's going to happen. And I have no idea who I want to win in Iowa or New Hampshire. I'd like to see Trump lose, not get the nomination, and watch him incinerate. But, you know, polling shows, and I don't trust this polling, that Haley would be tougher for Biden to beat. I don't believe that. I think she's an idiot, and that's why she's not getting the nomination. And either is DeSantis. It's going to be Trump. I just wish I could. The Hill is reporting that Ron DeSantis is expected to suspend his campaign after Iowa, when or if he loses Iowa, because there's no path forward for Ron DeSantis. He bet it all on Iowa. No candidate has spent more time in Iowa than DeSantis. He's got the governor's endorsement. He's got the state's top evangelical leaders' endorsement. If DeSantis has any hope of surging, it's going to be in Iowa. Not Florida. He's the governor of Florida. That's a lock for Trump. So if DeSantis can't win Iowa, he can't win anywhere, and that's all she wrote. DeSantis refuses to say anything bad about Donald Trump, but he did let slip over the weekend that if Trump loses Iowa, Trump will refuse to admit defeat. And we know that. We know that he will refuse to admit defeat. And even DeSantis is saying that. Trump lost Iowa in 2016 to Ted Cruz and immediately screamed fraud. And now, to set the stage for a possible loss or a win but not a blowout, a mailer is being circulated in Iowa already accusing Ron DeSantis of voter fraud. The Trump people are sending out a mailer accusing Ron DeSantis of stealing the Iowa caucus. This is based on something his wife said, where she invited, his wife isn't too smart, DeSantis' wife, invited people from out of state to come caucus in Iowa. But this is identical to 2020. 2 months before the 2020 presidential election, Trump had John Eastman and another lawyer named Cleta Mitchell. They were two of Trump's outside attorneys. They began preparing for litigation immediately after the November election. 2 months before the election, they were preparing to file lawsuits charging voter fraud. If it's like in Citizen Kane, remember the two headlines are printed? Trump wins, the election is fair. If he loses, it's fraud.